here with Miss Maizie, and I wanted to do a video. I wanted to talk about a few things here. I've had a pretty rough day today. Um, so anyway, the reason for my rough day was, and this was actually supposed to be the video that was going to post today and tomorrow. I was going to spread it out into two videos. But essentially, there was a fellow YouTuber, and I'm not going to name any names, but a fellow YouTuber had received a doll from another artist, and she decided the baby felt too heavy for her. So she, decided she wanted to get the baby reweighted, but she was a collector only and didn't know how to do it. So she contacted me because we'd become, friends on YouTube, and asked if I would help her maybe just take out some of the weight. So and that it's not really something that I do. I'm not here to be, a doll hospital for anyone else and their babies, but she seemed like she was in a bind, and I thought, yeah, I guess I can help you out with that. And I decided to charge her, she offered to pay me a fee for my time and for any materials that I might use and things like that. I wasn't sure if the baby would need a new body or not. And so anyway, we agreed on kind of the fee and things like that. She sent the baby to me. I did a whole box opening. None of this is going to be posted, by the way. I'm just going to kind of explain to you guys the situation and what ended up happening. So I got the baby. I did the box opening. And basically, kind of felt the baby's limbs and thought, okay, it seems like the baby's, has, sand or whatever, sorry, not sand, the glass beads or whatever it might be all the way up the arms. And so that's making the baby feel a little bit heavier. And actually, guys, my Maizie has glass beads all the way up the arm. And my understanding with weighting is typically you don't fill them up all the way to the top. It's usually filled maybe halfway or maybe 2/3, and then the rest would be polyfill, just so it's not too heavy. So I might still want to reweight Maizie at some point. So anyway, so I've been filming this whole box opening. Everything looks great. The baby looks beautiful, and the body looked fine. So I said, okay, now I'm gonna go and disassemble the baby, reweight it. And so I disassembled the baby, and basically found out that, as I kind of took off the limbs and opened up the limbs, so the body had poly pellets, definitely fine. And then when I opened up the limbs, it was a very, very fine white powdery substance that felt and looked like sand. And I was like, oh my gosh, this looks like sand. I have personally never seen glass beads be that fine. So that was my assumption, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's so horrible. This really looks like sand. And I dumped out the beads from the limbs. And then when I looked inside each of the limbs, it literally looked black. Not like solid black, but they were definitely like substantial black patches and things like that. And I just wasn't sure what was causing that, and things like that. So that was kind of worrisome. And then even worse, like some of the black, there seemed to be a small black smudge on the middle toe of each foot. And so I wasn't sure, what was causing that too. And I was like, oh no, I felt so bad for my friend and fellow collector, and I of course let her know, and I just sent her a photo of, the filling, and then I put my own filling in, the glass beads I get from Bountiful Baby, and then had to add a little bit of extra polyfill, things like that, and basically got the baby reweighted, sent to her. But I had the video film just to say, oh gosh, guys, like maybe just kind of public service announcement. It's a good idea just to check what might be inside your baby. And then it kind of made me feel like, wow, maybe we don't know exactly what's inside our baby. Different artists use different things to weight. And so, so I now kind of have this curiosity and question with, all of my babies that I've bought from other artists, like, I wonder what's inside. So, I may end up opening some of them up to look and, things like that. But I don't know yet. I'm kind of definitely thinking I might do it with Maizie, just because I think that her, I'm kind of thinking I might want something different in her body, you know, and maybe her arms to do fewer glass beads. I don't know. So, so anyway, there's a video I watched recently on another channel where where she discovered from purchasing a baby, you know, something that looked like aquarium sand or something like that. That was in one of her babies, and I was really alarmed by that. And I thought, you know, I thought, you know, let me just pose kind of the general question, because maybe like this is a common material that people use and I wasn't aware of it. Just because I, you know, feel like every time I read like eBay listings, for example, they always say no sand was used in this baby, and the artists seem very, you know, keen to really point that out, because, you know, I don't think it's generally considered an acceptable weighting material. But then I've read some articles saying that it was okay. So I was honestly sort of genuinely confused, because this baby is from a top artist. And so, so I thought, you know, let me pose the question, because that plus the experience I had reweighting my friend's baby, I thought, okay, well, let me just try to find out. And I was basically just coming at it from a position of inquiry. So I posted a question and thread on Dolphin, just about like, okay, what are sort of like the proper materials, and just sharing like this one example. I did not name any names at all. And I think most people reading it, you know, would have like no idea what I'd be even referring to. And also with my videos I was going to post on my channel, like today and tomorrow, by the time you guys see this, it'll be Sunday. You know, I didn't name the artist. I didn't even find out who the artist was until after I'd like sent the baby back, you know, to her mommy. So I really, you know, I really didn't know. And I was really more just coming from a place of like, hey, I just want to understand, like, you know, what's okay to put in your babies or not. Is sand okay? You know, that sort of thing. And guys, I literally got so attacked so viciously on that thread. I was honestly kind of shocked, and I spent probably half of the day in tears off and on, because it was just so disheartening to like get attacked that way, like on like a public forum. And you know, people were saying, you know, first of all, the person who was the artist of the friend's baby jumped in, because I guess, you know, my friend had been messaging with her and just saying like, hey, you know, Lynn found some sand in the limbs, and I'm like really confused, like, you know, why, you know, just want to understand like what's inside the baby, like, and also if it is sand, like I would like a refund of the money I paid to her to get this baby reweighted, and also the money for the shipping costs and stuff like that. And guys, it's not like an exorbitant amount of money, but you know, it was a good, you know, it cost $50 each way to ship the baby, and then plus I charged, you know, like $50 for my time and energy and effort, kind of having to go back and forth to the PO box, having to spend a couple hours disassembling and reweighting, and then plus, you know, a little bit just for the cost of my glass beads that I had to use. So anyway, I ended up, you know, so I didn't make that much at the end of the day, but I felt like I was literally getting just really, you know, there were all these like responses of like, oh no, I know that this artist would never use sand, you know, her babies are top notch. And guys, I'm not saying that her babies aren't top notch. I just found what looked like sand in the limbs, and so I, you know, was just kind of, and then seeing this additional video, it made me feel like, okay, let me get clarity on here, because maybe this is like an acceptable material and I just don't even know, but I just want to understand. I was trying to come from a place of like wanting to understand. So, but man, like I was like, wow, they really, you know, took my message, and it was just, the thread just spiraled from there. And I was getting accused like, well, you know, how long have you been reborning for, and basically kind of saying essentially like, well, hey, you don't really know what you're doing, you know, sort of a tone in the thread, and like kind of like, how dare you attack this other artist. And I was like, wow, I wasn't attacking any artist. And then she I guess had thought that I messaged her on eBay and Facebook, and I was like, wow, no, I didn't. Like, I've only been communicating with her customer and my friend in the YouTube community. And that's it. Like, I have not reached out to contact her. I was like, this is none of my business. I, did what I thought was, the best way to address the situation. I thought I found sand in the limbs. I poured it out. I dumped it out. And I put, the, kind of glass beads that I use, for my babies, into the baby. But yeah, if I saw an issue, I felt like it was, it was up to me to point that out to her mommy. I felt like I did the right thing with that. And my intentions were good. So, but anyway, yeah, the thread just kind of kept going on and on. And like, after all this, I was like, wow, I really wish I like had never gotten involved. I was really trying to help, out of just trying to be kind and trying to, it wasn't worth the $50 to me. It really wasn't, all the labor. And I mean, for me, like assembling and weighting the baby, that's like kind of the tedious stuff. It's not really the fun part of reborning for me. I enjoy painting. But yeah, the assembly part, it's like, okay, not my favorite part. I mean, it's not awful, but it's, then basically having to disassemble and do all of that. I mean, that was, it was a lot of work. And yeah, they were saying like, it should have only taken 30 minutes of work. I was like, well, maybe for you, but for me, it just takes longer. Plus I needed to get a new box, pack the baby up, get it shipped, run to the post office again. So it's just a lot of hassle. So it was something that I was really just doing to help. I never meant to, attack anyone, throw anyone under the bus, and getting accused of doing that was really unpleasant. And so, I know I know this community, there are situations like this that happen where people get attacked or get bullied, and I kind of felt a little bit ganged up on that doll fan thread, to be honest. And thankfully two lovely ladies at the end sort of posted to say, hey, I think Lynn just basically asked the question, and it's like almost like feeling like, wow, we have to be like so sensitive and so careful about what we post. And so I have to kind of decide, like, when I get my new babies, do I want to post pictures on Dollfan, with photos of like, the new babies in my collection? I'm not sure that I want to. Like, the tone and tenor of the forum, it feels like people can be so quick to attack and so quick to judge someone's intentions. And honestly, yeah, maybe in retrospect, I shouldn't have gotten involved, and it should have been something that's resolved between the artist and collector. So I've kind of learned my lesson. So for those of you guys who are thinking of sending me babies to fix up, please find someone else, because I am not open for doing that. So, but yeah, it was a really unpleasant situation. And, look, you guys, hopefully have gotten to know me a little bit from watching my channel, watching some of my videos. I am, I'm a peacemaker. Like, I don't like, I don't like being a cause of drama by any means. And I really posted the thread from a genuine place of like wanting to understand, wanting to learn. And, that's why I didn't call out any names whatsoever, and was not planning to do that. And if somebody wants to message me to say, oh, who was the artist? Well, you can just, since she volunteered herself, you can go to the thread and read everything, and you can see what I'm talking about. So anyway, I just thought I should come on and at least sort of explain my side of things, because I had these 2 videos scheduled, and it was going to be fun. I was going to do a box opening of the baby that was sent to me, even though it's not my baby, but I thought that was going to be a fun video for you guys. And by the way, I'm going to change Miss Maizie here. She's wearing a very cute, like, little knit set, and she had these really adorable booties. And I'm actually going to change her into her holiday dress, because even though it's only November, guys, I'm already in the holiday spirit. Like, I'm excited about Christmas. I think I'm going to slowly get my babies sort of into more holiday attire. So we'll see. It's a little early, but so anyway, guys, it was a really upsetting day today. I'm trying not to take it personally, but sometimes hard to be sort of a, even though I've been collecting for a long time, I feel like a relative newbie to the doll community, because I've only just recently started being on YouTube, and I've also just recently started kind of posting more actively on Dollfan, this year, probably like starting earlier in this year. And I've done, 10 transactions on Dollfan. So yeah, so I don't know. You know, I think there's somebody who complained about clicks on Dolphin and, you know, has decided to leave Dolphin. And that's too bad, you know, even though, like, I know she was one of the people who was definitely attacking Andrea. But, you know, but I don't think she or anyone, for that matter, should feel, like, unwelcome to share their thoughts. And so it's almost like, it feels like, you know, as a collector, like, you know, and this isn't maybe an interesting question, just in general, like this whole incident aside, do we feel pressured to stay silent, you know, if we're not happy with our babies? And, you know, you guys know that I've purchased babies from Melissa, and, you know, if there's something that is not done, like, according to how I prefer it, like, I have felt very free to let her know, for example, or, and same with when I have bought babies from Andrea, you know, they're silicone babies. Like, you know, if there have been things that I wanted a little bit different, I have felt comfortable in speaking up. You know, both of them are very lovely ladies in terms of at least how they've dealt with and worked with me, and have been very, very sweet about any changes and requests and things like that. So, and I like to think that most artists are okay with you contacting them, but and yeah, maybe the lesson learned is, like, always go to the artist first and try to see what you can, like, resolve or learn from the artist. Oh my goodness, she's going to be precious in this. Let me go ahead and button her on the back. But gosh, guys, that was just, this like innocent question I posted on Dolphin became just this huge blown up thing. It just got crazy. So anyway, by my posting this video, I've probably drawn, like, even more attention to it. But I just felt I had to speak up and at least say how I was feeling about the situation. And there's this allegation of, you know, the buyer was threatening the artist that, you know, if she didn't return, you know, if she didn't pay her the $150 she spent to get the baby properly weighted with the right materials, that, you know, that I would post this video publicly, basically saying that she uses sand in her dolls. And, you know, and just to set the record straight on that, the video I posted had no mention of the artist, as I mentioned. And I mean, it did show what I found in the dolls and my commentary on that, but that was it. So, so that really would have been up to, you know, the collector, you know, what she wanted to share with the broader public, if, you know, if anything, you know, that sort of thing. So anyway, I just wanted to hop on and just kind of talk about that. And also just in general, I guess, advice in the future. Oh, and another thing that I did learn, obviously, from all of this is there are glass beads that are very, very fine and very granular. And they do look, and they can look and feel like sand. So I have heard sort of mixed things about that. I think the reason some artists like to use them, from what I learned on the thread, is that you don't get that crunchy sound when you're squeezing your Reborn's limbs, because it's more fine and not as coarse. But I have also heard that when the glass beads are too fine, they won't stay in the pantyhose sacks because they're too fine. They'll seep right through. And somebody who said that they had sinus issues found that, you know, those really fine glass beads did irritate their sinuses or something like that. So it's just a couple things, you know. My beads are not quite, the ones I use are not, when I look at the Bountiful Baby ones, they're not quite that fine. So I am able to do more the traditional pantyhose sack for the body, as well as a smaller pantyhose sack for the head. But yeah, guys, it's been an upsetting day. Like, I definitely didn't mean to offend anyone. And, you know, I think that, like I said in one of my recent videos, this is, it's so hard when we're communicating with each other via the internet, on forums, through YouTube, because I think things can get, like, misconstrued and assumptions can be made. And she was making an assumption that I was, like, you know, messaging her on eBay and Facebook and all this stuff, and I was like, no, that wasn't me. And, you know, I'm literally just a third party here, and I have no stake at all in this doll or anything like that. So so it was really, I don't know, it was really hard. It kind of made me feel like, I don't know. I can understand now when people go through something like this where they feel like, wow, I'm just being attacked, why people would want to leave Dolphin or leave, you know, YouTube or, you know, that sort of thing. And I guess I never really understood it before because it hadn't happened to me yet. But this just definitely made me feel like, wow, I should like never post or say anything ever again. Like it was just this feeling of like, geez, like, you know, and they were telling me, well, you know, you need to like figure out what the facts are before you start posting things. And I was like, wow, I didn't post anything. I literally posted a vague question, which didn't reference anybody. And, you know, you guys are the ones who have sort of like taken this to this level, right? And so, and I wasn't aware of any conversations happening between the artist and my friend, but I guess my friend had tried to message her and she hadn't heard back from her, you know, immediately. So she was kind of worried she was getting like the cold shoulder treatment, and then tried messaging her again, and then finally got a response. You know, so anyway, I think it was, you know, it was a misunderstanding, for sure. But yeah, it also makes me just, I guess, worry about like, I don't know. I think it's still a good idea to really, if you're not sure, ask the artist, you know, what's inside the babies. I always use, you know, like glass beads, but not the super fine kind, but the kind that I can put in a pantyhose sack and not have them seep out. And then I use, you know, polyfill. I sometimes use just more of a regular polyfill that you can get at a craft store, but then I also have the Bountiful Baby polyfill as well. That's like ultra soft. So sometimes I'll use that for the body and use the firmer stuff for like the head and limbs. So I have done that. But yeah, I just thought I would share that. And, you know, I guess the encouragement is always like, you know, go to the artist first if you can. But I definitely also understand, you know, collectors don't want to hurt the artist's feelings sometimes, and you don't want to bring up issues because you want to maintain a good relationship. You don't want to put somebody, you know, on the defensive or, you know, attack anybody or anything like that. So I think it's, so anyway, guys, so let me show you little Miss Maizie. She's looking gorgeous in this gold holiday dress. And I got this from Costco. I don't know if you guys saw that on one of my recent videos. This is a, yeah, it's a 6-month size dress from Costco, and fits Miss Maizie great. You know, she could probably also do like a 3-month when it comes to dresses. This would probably feel better just being a teeny tad shorter, but it works. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Thanks for letting me share a little bit about what happened and kind of my side of things. I really appreciate it. And for those of you guys who continue to support me and my channel and watch my videos, I so appreciate it. Go in peace. I hope you have a wonderful Sunday, and I will talk to you guys and see you on the next video. Bye.